Hello, morning, it's Lady and the Frogs. Yeah, I look terrible and I feel terrible. I wasn't going to come on and vlog, and then I just thought, actually, let's do it, because this is probably actually quite relevant to some people, a lot of people. As I know a lot of people who are resellers are like the big hustle, 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 hustle. Now, I'm not that person. I don't know what's happened. Yesterday, I woke up with a terrible, terrible dizziness. I have a thing called persistent postural perception, which I've had since 2016, August 2016. They said it was some kind of viral infection. I didn't know I had an ear infection, but I've been left with dizziness. I haven't really... I did drive a little bit at the end of 2016. And I tried to keep my car, but I ended up having to sell it. So I don't drive, which is why I walk everywhere. But today, I don't know. I think this ear, I think it's this one. Because yesterday, when I had a bath, and the steam from the bath just set me off, and I just felt absolutely awful. Then I laid on the bed and it felt worse. I felt like I'm on a roller coaster. Honestly, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster now. And then I laid there on the bed and put Otex eardrops in both ears. But I think it's this one, because this one, I can just sense it. But I think it's my left ear anyway. When I had all the tests done at the Manchester Royal Infirmary, the audiology people, they said that I had minor damage to this ear anyway, like a 7% damage overall, which is why I have to tolerate dizziness on a daily basis. But whatever's going on at the moment, I've obviously got something going on, but I feel terrible. But I've got myself up. It has just gone 9, but I have been up since... Well, I didn't want to wake up, but then I got myself up because lying down is worse, and thinking about it is worse. And so I'm just going to do things. And I just thought, let's do a video, because there's probably a lot of people like this who, you know, just feel terrible on a daily basis. And the way I think this is the thing, is that I regard it as an ailment. It doesn't feel like a disease, even though it is something that I have to live with. It's just an irritation to me, but it's absolutely awful today. But I'm cracking on with things, and I'm not gonna stop. I was actually thinking, I've got up, I've had breakfast, I've done the washing up. When I was doing the washing up, I was just thinking, if I was in a normal job, would I phone in sick? And I probably would phone in sick and then just sit around feeling sorry for myself. But because of what I'm doing, I'm in a unique situation where I can do things and not, you know, on my own terms. So in a way, I'm happy that I'm in that place. I'm also happy that I did this on Saturday. So I have got, these ones have all got labels on. Sales are terrible, really. It's a book, it's something, they're all like £15 sales. This is a personal item that something that I decluttered. I actually had all of these sticker albums. So this is, you'd think that it's usually number 1 in the series, which is the rare one, which I think it is quite rare to come by it, but it's actually Return of the King, which is rare, and that's the one that I sold straight away, and I think I sold that for 60. This is going abroad, so I have to deal with that today. So I've just been turfing around trying to find a thick enough card for that to go in. I just couldn't find the right thickness of card. And then the other things which I've just got to post, which I'm quite glad in a way that I've only got a few things, because I just can't be arsed with it. So I've got this Kooples top. This has gone for 22. So that's been around less than a month. Then I've got one of these Ted Baker t-shirts, 15 for that. Don't care. I knew that I wouldn't get that much for them when I picked them up. This, which I didn't know anything about, just a linen top, which again I've got 15 for, and then I've got 15 for this, which is one of the things that I picked up in desperation, which probably shouldn't have. But that is just a cat blouse by two. And I've got 15 for that. So the only irritating thing that I've got to do is cut the card up and probably find something better than a record mailer to send that in. Or, you know, ideally I'd like to send it in one of them, but it's going to Spain, so I don't want to send it in stuff with eBay iconography all over it, because they might just, it's on that cusp where they've paid £40 for it. I'm going to put on the customs declaration £38 value, because I think that's the cut-off for the tax. But I don't know if it'll fit in the jiffies that I've got. I think these jiffies that I've got are just like annoyingly under A4, or they're exactly A4, but obviously they're not, because of the seam. the glued seam, it isn't A4. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'll show you the living room, because I feel like I'm actually in quite a good position this week for the fact that I'm feeling like this. On Saturday, I had all that Lego that I'd washed, but I decided that I wanted to get all the rest of the stuff photographed that I had lying around before I covered the rug in loads of stuff. So on Saturday I did a load of photography, so I think I've probably got about 80 to 100 items photographed. That's probably an exaggeration, it's probably more like 50. It just looks like a ridiculous amount of stuff. And because I've washed the Lego yesterday, I just sorted through the Lego, so I've got that to do. So I'm in a good place where I can just sit and do that. But I probably will end up going out tomorrow, because I'm going out for a walk round to the post office, and hopefully that will clear my head a bit. Because it is dizziness, the best thing I can do is just get on and ignore things, because sitting thinking about it just makes you worse, you know. Or I could just sit and watch roller coaster videos and just really, like, you know, enjoy what's going on in my head. You've got to look at the positives. I think my thing is that I've seen what happened to my brother, even when he wasn't in a care home, you know, with his legs as thin as broomsticks. I am not kidding. They were as thin as broomsticks because he wasn't using them. But he kind of gave up before, in that he just couldn't be bothered to adapt, I suppose is the word. And I think that's it, is that you have to adapt. There's worse things that could be happening to you, and I know that what happened to my brother is absolutely horrendous, but instead of learning how to use a wheelchair, he just lost the will to live and just sat in a room. And I think I have that perspective, in that I don't want to end up feeling depressed, because it's really easy to go down that road. You know, I'm depressed enough that I've had to give up work, traditional work, because on a difficult day, nobody understands that it's a difficult day, and that's annoying enough. So that's one of the reasons why I want to make reselling work. So yeah, there you are. That's why I'm doing this video. I'll show you the living room and show you why I'm happy what the position that I've got myself into going into this working week, which means I can actually do some things this week with my bad head. So this is why I'm sitting on the floor of my stockroom doing that first part of the video, in case you just thought I'd like fallen out of bed or something. you know, as if you're even going to think that. So this is what I've been doing. This is a laminated map, which I got in a box of other stuff. I just use it to protect the floor when I'm washing stuff. So this is the last bit that I've just got to sort through. And then this is everything that's sorted. So this, I've spent enter £60 on all of this, including the postage, because the postage was a bit of a debate because she wanted to collection only. So you can see there's a fair amount of decent figures in here, which I need to work out what's going on because it looks like I've got some older stuff. But at first glance, it feels like I've got just one of the sundry pirate sets, i.e. what these would be with, and these, well, that's a modern one. That's the vintage one. That's more of the modern one. So that might explain it. Yeah, so I've obviously got a boat set, but it's probably just a pirate in a boat. But then this is what I really bought it for, because I've got the Sheriff's Lockup and the Gold Rush, Gold Mountain in with all this, which is what all of this is. So I'm going to go through all that. Yeah, it has got the stickers on it, so I know what I've got here because I've had this set before, which I've sold for £70. And then the rest of it is, annoyingly, which you can see, I've got SpongeBob SquarePants. There's something called Glove World, and a lot of this is like modern sets, which isn't great. I was hoping to have a few more vintage cars in here. So despite the fact that I've got all these wheels, they're modern wheels. And there is a Star Wars set in this somewhere. So this is what I'm doing today, and I'll be able to sit here and do this without getting a bad head. And then I've got only a few crappy non-Lego bits in there. Oh, I say that, but I've got all of this Mega Bloks here. But that's yeah, and I've got 2 parcels there which I need to open, which is something else. And then this is all photographed, thank the Lord. So there's some bits that I've listed, but thankfully I can work through all of this week, and it does go down quite a long way. It is on a buffet, but there probably is about 50 things on there. So at least I've got that photographed while I feel a little bit better, hopefully. So without going into all the Geschichte of, you know, what it is to be dizzy all the time, I'm in real danger of like just sitting on the sofa all day doing very little and just feeling like rubbish. And I'm all Jewish as well. This is because I watch too much Judge Judy, isn't it? You know, I've just used the word Geschichte, which is German. And I went oi 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 oi. Maybe that was past life. Anyway, hey, I am back from post office run, and I went to the little Tesco. Maybe it was the Tesco that just pushed me over the edge. I feel terrible. I am drinking coffee, which probably is a bad idea, but I feel shattered. I don't think I've had that much sleep. I remembered, I think I was a superhero or something. In my dream, I could definitely fly in my dreams. That's 2 nights in a row now I've dreamt I could fly. But anyway, that's regardless. I don't. Maybe I'm like that woman in that thing where you think you go to sleep, but you go out on missions. So maybe that's why I'm shattered all the time with bags under my eyes. Maybe that's why I'm dizzy. So the dizziness is absolutely horrendous. I thought maybe going out it wouldn't be so bad, but it really is. I went the long way round via the park and the pedestrian crossing, thinking, well, that's a good idea. Got to the pedestrian crossing. Those complete arse bandits, contractors who are digging our road up to put a cycle lane in, a hard cycle lane with a big curb so that people can have more car crashes and tear the bottom of their cars off, and to narrow the road. So those complete arseholes when I got to the pedestrian crossing, they'd coned it all off, so you couldn't actually get to the button on it. And this is my frustration, is that because I've got the dizziness, and this is one of the reasons that I don't drive, is because I have to do the left, the right, the left. The looking left to right when you've got dizziness is awful. It really sets you off. And it is, when you go to these appointments at the hospital, they give you exercises where you do stuff like that to try and sort of shake you out of it. But it's awful when because it just triggers it all. It's just awful. Trigger warning. And then, but then you see, then when I was at the post office, the guy, because I had an airmail, and he says, oh, it's 13 something, is that okay? And then I nodded, so then I set myself off again. But how frustrating that I took a long way round to go via pedestrian crossings, and Colas, who, you know, I don't mind naming them, because it's been carnage for the last year and a half, and they don't know what they're doing. I don't mind saying this because I used to work in construction. I worked in construction for 15 years, I think. You know, and when you see those construction companies who have considerate constructors up, don't believe any of it. They're not considerate. All that considerate constructors is another way of going to a booze up at the end of the year, an award ceremony. And I should know because I went to one of these award ceremonies with, you know, 3-course dinner and boozing it up. When we worked on digging up the road, so, you know, I'm pot calling the kettle black, because for 6 years I was working on projects where we dug up roads, but we did put a tram line in, so there we go. And you see, I'm still on the royal we, because I love that job, and I think that's one of the reasons why I get really upset being ill and not being able to work in a traditional job, because I really enjoyed what I used to do, and it's so frustrating. But anyway, yeah, I feel terrible. I probably will go out tomorrow. My husband is still using the people who I got my prescription from. It seems like they're messing him around. So I've got to go and have an argument with them tomorrow and say, where's my husband's prescription? Because he's only got 3 days of pills left. And it's next to my honey hot shop says, you know, I can go in there, but I probably will not be doing a long look, because I have just popped into the warehouse one there, and when I look up, and it's always the menswear is always on the high rails like that, the motion of putting my head back, even when I'm having a semi good day, it feels just like the liquid in your head just goes back, and it always sets me off. So it's setting me off worse. And as it was, I did find something at the charity shop today, the Harris Tweed t-shirt by somebody called Nicholas, and I thought I'd remember by the time I got back, and it's completely gone out of my head, but I didn't have any, because it's cash only and I didn't have any money. I didn't come back with it, when I might have, but it is what it is. I've got too much stock anyway. But there you go. So that's my day. I'm probably going to take it easy, but I'm still going to do listing. I'm going to do at least 10 of the things that I've got drafted, and schedule a bit ahead and do some of this Lego. So I've got plenty to do today, and I'm going to definitely be doing it, because I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, I'm dizzy. You know, I'm having moments of when I was printing, my printer is underneath my computer, and I bent down too fast and gave myself a spin out. Then I've made myself spin out putting my trousers on, and I'm still in my jeans, so I'm going to be changing, so I'll probably spin out again. it's just going to be, I'm going to be spinning out for about 2 weeks, I think. Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. Anyway, I'm going to stop moaning on, and yeah, crack on with, you know, actually doing things. And thank goodness I don't have to pick myself through going into an office. It's going to be a bit frustrating though, doing things. Because even though I am going to be going out and I'm going to go to the post office and the rest of it, I have to keep going back routes, because I can't go on main roads because there's more pedestrians and they're weird, and it's the peripheral vision of cars going up and down next to you that really throws me off. So, you know, it's that frustration that I've got to live with. But anyway, hope you like this ramble. And hopefully somebody out there who's ill will just think, yeah, let's do this, let's push through. There's worse things that could happen. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you anon. Goodbye. Goodbye.